Hello guys, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I hope you guys are doing well by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I hope and pray to my Lord that your family and friends are in constant blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we were reading a poem called Poem in October by Dylan Thomas. In my previous two videos, I have discussed the first 5 stanzas, and we have left only 2 stanzas. So I will try in this video that I can finish the rest of the stanzas. So without further talking, let's read that poem first, then I'll explain it later. Let's read it the whole poem once. Okay. Poem in October. It was my 30th year to heaven, woke to my hearing from harbor, a neighborhood, and the muzzle pulled, and the heron pressed at shore. The morning beckon, with water praying, and call of seagull and rook, and the knock of sailing boats on the net waved wall. Myself to set foot that second in the still sleeping town and set forth. My birthday began with the water birds and the birds of the winged trees flying my name. Above the firms and the white horses I rose, and I rose in rainy autumn and walked abroad in a shower of all my days. High tides and the heron dived when I took the road over the border, and the gates of the town closed as the town awake. The spring full of larks in a rolling cloud, and the roadside bushes brimming with whistling blackbirds, and the sun of October summery. On the hill's shoulder, here were fond climates and sweet singers suddenly come in the morning, where I wandered and listened to the raining ringing, wind blow cold in the wood far away under me, pale rain over the dwindling harbor, and over the seaward church, the size of a snail, with its horns true mist, and the castle brown as owls. But all the gardens of spring and summer were blooming in the tall tales. Beyond the border and under the lark full cloud, there could I marvel my birthday away, but the weather turned around. It turned away from the bleak country and down the other air, and the cloud altered sky streamed again, a wonder of summer, with apples, pears, and red currants. And I saw in the turning so clearly a child's forgotten mornings when he walked with his mother through the parables of sunlight and the legends of the green chapels and the twice told fields of infancy, that his tears burned my cheeks and his heart moved in mine. These were the woods, the river, and sea, where a boy in the listening summertime of the dead whispered the truth of his joy. To the trees and the stones and the fish in the tide, and the mystery sang alive, still in the water and singing birds. And there could I marvel my birthday away, but the weather turned away around, and the true joy of the long dead child sang burning in the sun. It was my 30th year to heaven stood there then in the summer noon. Though the town below lay leaved with October blood, oh, may my heart's truth still be sung on the high hill in a year's turning. Okay, guys, we have completed the reading the whole poem, so I'd go back to stanza 5 where we left off the other day in my previous video. So let's read stanza 5. It says, and the twice told fields of infancy. What does that mean? The explanation says that the speaker continues recalling his childhood. Yeah, that's what the verse says. Twice told, that suggests that those memories were remembered and told many times. Many times. We can find in Farnhill or many poems he recalled his memories. So that's why he used the phrase twice told. Okay. Here, worth noticing is that the word infancy is a metaphor that symbolizes innocence and childhood memories. Okay, the next verse, that his tears burned my cheeks and the heart moved in mine. What does that mean? Look at that symbol, look at the word choice the poet uses here. He actually describing his childhood, right? But he is describing in a way that it was someone else. He uses his. Although he's explaining or describing his childhood, but he's using the pronoun his instead of mine. And that means that the present Dylan Thomas, or the present author, or the present speaker, is no longer the same being or same man or same individual who used to be in the childhood. So he says that his tears burned my cheeks and heart moved in mine. Okay, what does the explanation say? His refers to the child Dylan, while my refers to adult Dylan, as I said earlier. The adult feels the child's emotions so intensely that they become his own. The boundary between past and present disappears. So this line, although it um, separates his childhood and adulthood, but still it uh, disappears the boundary between his childhood and adulthood, hence the boundary between past and present. What's the meaning of the verse? That means that the child is not dead emotionally. He still lives inside the adult. Yeah. I hope you have understood. Then the second line says that these were the woods, the river and sea. He's explaining that he's describing his childhood where he used to see the woods, the same river, the sea in the countryside. The poet identifies exact places of his childhood. Yeah, that's it. Where a boy, that means who is the boy? Our speaker. Where a boy in the listening, that means he used to listen the sounds of nature and observe them. In the listening, summertime of the dead whispered the truth of his joy. So, what is the explanation? This is one of the most difficult lines of the poem. Summertimes represent, summertime represent youth, his childhood, his happiness, joyousness, full of life. Whereas death, although dead does not symbolize ghosts or something, it can symbolize that his childhood has died. So yeah, read that verse again. Summertime of the dead whispered the truth of his joy. Yeah. Whispered the truth of his joy. What does that mean? That means that the child quietly understood the truth. What is the truth? In the following verse we will discover that truth, happiness came from living closely with nature. This is the truth. This is the truth that the author found, that true happiness, if you want to be happy in life or be anxiety free in life, the more you closely live with nature and appreciate nature, you'd become less anxious, less depressed, and less unhappy. That's what the verse is indicating. So the next verse says that to the trees and the stones and the fish and the tide. So the boy, actually speaking here, the boy speaks to nature as he observing the phenomena of nature, whether it's tree, whether it's stones, tide, fish, etc. So it symbolizes that complete harmony with creation. He is in complete harmony with creation, with nature. He's appreciating nature, observing nature very closely. Okay, the next verse. And the mystery sang alive, still in the water and singing birds. Here, mystery could indicate God, divine beauty, imagination. So he's imagining, or he's describing that suddenly a mystery sang alive again uh, in the midst of water and singing birds. Okay, so the mystery of his past, where when he used to roam around the nature, listen the sounds of nature, it is alive again. The song what he used to listen in his childhood, it became again alive. Sorry guys, I'm very weak in English, spoken English, so uh, it is very much difficult to articulate words, and also I'm not a good teacher. I'm just trying to convince myself, trying to, you know, utilize my boredom. That's what I'm doing here. Anyway, we can find some symbolism here. Wood signifies innocence. A river that indicates passage of time in life. Sea indicates or symbolize eternity. Birds symbolize freedom and spiritual joy. Water symbolize continuity of life. Okay. Here is worth noticing one thing, that here is a contrast you can see here. The 30-year-old adult is contrasted with an innocent boy. Memory is contrasted with immediate experience. Reflection contrasted with pure joy. Okay. What is the central theme of the stanza 6? If I want to give a summary, that is, time changes the body, but memory can preserve the soul of childhood. That's one line summary could be. That time changes the body. Our body can be, transformed from, infant to a kid to a full-grown adult, but our memory, our soul, our childhood memory cannot fade. So let's proceed to the next stanza 7. What does he say? Okay, let's read it together. And there could I marvel my birthday. The speaker says that marvel means enjoy or admire his birthday. Away but weather turned around. Time passes unnoticed where he is lost in reflection. Again the weather changes. The change is symbolic rather than merely material-logical. It signals that movement from memory back toward the present. Before that verse, we were reading the previous stanza. In the previous stanza, we were reading that he is recollecting and revisiting his childhood memories. But now, with that verse, he comes back to present again and feels that the weather surrounding him is turned down again. It changes. Weather means that weather symbolizes his emotional and psychological changes happening here. And the true of joy, long dead child sang burning. That means that he is long dead. He is imagining that he is a long dead child, means that his long forgotten childhood memory, it ticks again, it revives again, and he feels joyous, he feels happy and alive and singing here. In the sun, it's very important. Sun symbolizes truth, life, divine light, hope, eternal joy. So in the sun, it was May 30th. That means year to heaven. Let's read it. Okay, let's read it together, then it would be easier to contextualize. In the sun, it was May 30th. Year to heaven stood there then in the summer noon. So in his 30th year, the speaker is saying that under the sun, in the sun, that means under the divine guidance, truth, divine light, eternal joy, he is actually visiting, his destination is heaven. As you know, that reminds us that every single birthday brings us nearer or closer to eternity or death, isn't it, my friends? If we grow 1 year older, or if we pass our time a single second or a single day, it is a one step closer to eternity, to death, to decay, to destruction, to grave. So that's what the speaker is remembering. Summer noon represents that height of life, fullness, perfection. Here, the heaven stood there, then in the summer noon. Okay, summer noon here symbolizes that the height of his life, the, what you say, what's the word I can, the perfection of life, or the last stage of life, we could say. Okay. What's the next stanza says? It says that though the town below lay leaved with October blood. Okay, one of Thomas's most powerful images here. It symbolizes that October blood indicates that the flowers that are red and those bloomed in October, in the month of October, that's what the speaker is indicating, that the town is full of October flower, autumn leaves, red colors. Also, October blood suggests that passing of time, adulthood, aging. October blood can symbolize that passage of time. The speaker has become adult. Okay. Then let's read. Oh, may my heart's truth still be sung. That's a prayer. That means that his joy, childhood joy, love of nature, he's expecting, he's praying to God that it wouldn't be disappeared. He's expecting it to stay with him forever. So yeah, that's the stanza 7 we have completed. Here is a symbolism. Here is some symbolism. You could say sun symbolizes truth, divine illumination, joy. Summer symbolizes fulfillment, eternal joy, youth. October, blood, aging, mortality, the passage of time. Song, poetry, memory, spiritual continuity. Okay. What are the contrasts? Summer is contrasted with October. Sunlight is contrasted with blood red leaves. Spiritual truth is contrasted with ordinary reality. Eternal joy is contrasted with passing time. Okay, that's the end of our poem. That's it. So if I summarize that poem actually in my own terms, in my own language, that the poem was written in the 30th year, in our 30th birthday of the poet. He's actually remembering and recalling his childhood. He feels nostalgia, and sometimes he feels that in the life of adulthood is very boring and depressing and anxious. So he visits his childhood memories through the elements of nature. He observes the elements of nature very exquisitely, and the speaker or the author, Dylan Thomas, is very craftful in depicting nature and natural world. He is in, trying by reading this poem, I could say he is an escapist. He's escaping the real world, adulthood life, which is boring, full of responsibilities, full of anxiousness, anxiety, depression, full of unhappiness. But by recalling, remembering, by revisiting, recollecting, reclaiming his childhood memory, he feels happy, and he believes that the inner child in him didn't disappear. By looking at those elements that were associated to his childhood, he recalls and revisits his childhood, and he says he believes in philosophy that true is that nature is the only truth. Through nature you could be healed, and so forth. Yeah, that's the poem we have completed in 3 videos. So I'd like to apologize to my audience for the inconvenience. I haven't actually my explanation wasn't very good. It was very weak, and I'm not a good teacher, as I have said earlier to you. And it is just my whimsical activities. I'm passing time. I'd like to record myself nowadays. That's what I'm doing here. And that's it. Yeah. If you have any question or any suggestion or anything else you want to add, please comment below, like, share, and subscribe, and hope for the best. And hopefully I'll come back to you with another video. Okay, assalamu alaikum. Best of luck.